Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Marie Cato. This time on World Talks, we are going to talk about Polish university students abroad and specifically the International Congress of Polish Student Societies. Every year it organizes a congress which is considered to be the oldest and one of the most prestigious student conferences organized by the Polish community of students abroad. The event was initiated at Oxford University in 2007 and has been around for almost 2 decades. Today I'm joined by Anna Kowal, Head of Agenda at the International Congress of Polish Student Societies. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation.
So I wanted to begin by asking you about the vision of this event and of the broader organization. Tell us about that.
The vision for this event is captured in our motto, which is opening horizons, fostering unity. And through that, we try to, it's simply stated, but we try to show young people interested in business, interested in culture, interested in society, politics, diplomacy, what's out there for them, what's out there in Poland, and we try to make them see their future in connection with the country and also in connection with working with different sectors. For the second part, for fostering unity, this is focused a lot on community building, on also intergenerational community building between the youth, the ambitious youth, and our partners, sponsors, media partners who are working with us sometimes for many, many years, helping us deliver the best event, but also helping us to build bonds, build relationships. And behind the motto, behind the Congress, is our foundation, which in itself, through the rolling team, which changes every year, tries to build a tradition of engagement of the students and of creating something bigger, something that we can enjoy, but something that is also educational and is a good place to kind of start thinking about your career more seriously.
Okay, so you have quite a broad team. I've looked on your website. So what do all these people do when preparing a 2-day event like this? And what's your agenda this year?
Our agenda is, it's a 2-day event. So it's full of panels. That's kind of, mainly for me, because I'm responsible for these panels alongside with my lovely team of 6 people. But we also have workshops with our sponsors and partners. And we have the social events, which are, in relation to what I've just said, a very crucial element of what we do, which is both the Friday social lunches, which are for everyone, and then our yearly ball, which is, I think, a very cherished event, especially for those returning to Congress. And what do all these people do? I think the beautiful part is that we do kind of everything. We start with registering people. We start with helping with the cloakroom, with setting up the arrangement of the event, the visual side, to the more fun stuff, or usually looked at fun stuff, which is contacting quite high-profile people and trying to get in touch with the people that maybe each of us individually wouldn't be able to reach and wouldn't be able to talk to. So we do it end to end. We do it from start to finish and from the smallest to the biggest tasks.
And so what are your panels about this year? What are you going to be focusing on?
We have a very diverse agenda. I would say the main pillars for us are the safety of Poland and safety of our institutions. Then we have a more cultural section. We also have a more political section. That's the third one. And then something that we introduced this year is a section about sport and health, which we kind of hope to bring forward in our agenda and show that it's not only something that we do every day, something that many people enjoy, but it can also be a learning opportunity to kind of look at how sports people think and how also our mental health influence both our future career and also us today during our studies.
Of course. And the location for this year's Congress is Milan. So why is it Milan this year? And how has that perhaps proven to be a challenge in terms of organizing the Congress?
Well, I think since leaving the UK, every edition has its own unique challenges. The first years, or the most of Congress edition which happened in the UK, were kind of settled in the same environment or similar environment and didn't pose this kind of challenge. The first edition, which was in Amsterdam, was unique in its own way because the first edition outside of the UK, which was in Amsterdam, was unique in its own way because, well, it was the first one outside and it was the first one that was reaching out mainly to Polish students who do not study in the UK. Then we had Paris last year, which was quite difficult when it comes to being a hugely touristic city. So being a little bit more expensive, a little bit more, you might say, fancy. And this year's Milan, I think the biggest challenge for us was kind of getting into like a very specific organizational structure of the people we work with here. However, that being said, they're very lovely people and very good to work with, and it brings kind of a new energy to our event that we didn't have before. Also, being in Italy brings, I think, a little bit of a more laid-back approach, which I think suits the event anyway.
And tell us about Polish students these days, because now it's probably a lot easier for Polish students to study abroad than it was perhaps in 2006-07 when this started. What kind of degrees are Polish students going for? And also, do you get some support from the government for these events?
Polish students do all kinds of things. I think that's the beautiful part. I personally study politics and I'm passionate about political science. There's many people with similar interests to me and similar academic inclinations, but there is lots of business studies people, there is lots of economics people, there is lots of people who also study arts, who study music. Honestly, it's really hard to list them all because it's really all of the spectrum. There are people studying medicine as well. And we also welcome a lot of people as that, actually. We also welcome quite a few people who stay in Poland, study in Poland, but want to be engaged in like the broader student community. And when it comes to government, it differs edition per edition, but every year some of the Polish agencies, some of the Polish government figures do support us. And I especially want to mention this year's support from Senate. Polish Senate, we had like a pre-recorded opening speech by Marszałek Kidawa-Błońska, as well as a speech by Senator Borusewicz, which was a new addition. And we really appreciate this kind of support for Polish diaspora from the Senate.
And in terms of your sponsors, do you get new sponsors every year? What are the main challenges in terms of getting sponsorship for these kind of events?
I think the challenge is, but also a learning opportunity, because I think it's useful to frame it that way, is to, as a group of 20-something-year-olds, to kind of present ourselves as serious people, as people who are going to deliver the event, as people who can bring like a very tangible value to these sponsors and help really connect them with the best of Polish students. So yes, we do get new every year. We have some that are recurring and come back to us every year, which we really cherish these relationships. But nonetheless, it is a challenge to look like a very serious organization, in which we are.
And what about, let's say, would you say that the majority of Polish students actually intend to return to Poland?
It's a hard question, to be honest. I don't know the data right now. From my experience, it's about 50-50. But I would also say that I want to believe that it depends on initiatives like ours, which bring people back in their thoughts and kind of create this small Polish community abroad and small Polish communities wherever we go with our Congress, and show them that there is a lot to be done in Poland, both in terms of opportunities, but also we don't want to avoid the challenging parts. We don't want to avoid the parts that need to be fixed, need to be repaired, need to be improved, and can be improved. And through that, kind of show the potential of what one can do if they decide to come back and work together on improving our country.
All right, Anna Kowal, head of agenda at the International Congress of Polish Student Societies. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And that's a wrap for World Talks here on TVP World. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for much more news and analysis. Goodbye.